Hiya, folks. Welcome to another episode of Magic Key Chats. Who come to these happy chats, welcome. I am Ryan,
And I'm Amanda.
and today we got more info on Pixar Fest, specifically more snacks. Another snack episode.
I think it's considered food.
Yeah, some might call it snack side, but honestly, a lot of those were filling for at least me. I know that for sure. But Amanda and I last week got to check out some of they call them the food trucks, food stands, food carts. I don't remember specifically.
I don't know what they're called. Stands?
The stands, yeah. The same stands that you would see during Food and Wine Fest, Festival of the Holidays, and all that. So they use the same things, but they're all Pixar themed. And I was kind of blown away by it with how well themed each one was, one based off of each Pixar movie, and the food likely so. And honestly, in my opinion, I actually thought a lot of the food that we had was much better than even like Food and Wine Fest. I don't know if I'd go as far as I'd say Lunar New Year. That's still some of my favorite food. But Amanda, your thoughts? I think you got to experience a little bit more of the snacks than I did.
I was so impressed. That's saying a lot when it comes to food. No, I think it was great. It definitely surprised me in a good way because I'm always skeptical when they try too hard or try too much. And I know because we experienced Pixar Fest the first week when the food stands were not there yet, and came to find out that they were going to have the food stands, which was pretty exciting. I think it would have been cool if they had like one or two more.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're planning on adding any because there were six, right?
Yeah, there were the two by the back lot, and I think like the four on the main walkway toward when you're walking down toward Ariel and all that other stuff. And it would not surprise me the way that Pixar Fest is going that they add more, because if what I've noticed is like each week there is like something new going on for Pixar Fest. It starts and just they keep adding more and more and more. And we got all the way to August for this, so I would not be surprised. So I will definitely keep going, seeing if they add more. But even with what they had, the sixth, they were awesome. And like another side note thing that like was really awesome that they did add was the Pixar drive-in movie theater in the back lot while we're on back lot here, because it's right by the two of the snack stands, and then having like the Pixar shorts playing repeatedly on that screen outside, and you're sitting in like these makeshift cars, like old school classic drive-in theater look, and they have games and everything too. And for as hot as it was, at least for me, I can't speak for Arizona over there, but it was like the first couple days outside of June gloom, which is, I guess, a California known term, but got really hot. But it was nice to just relax, have a drink, have a snack, and just chill and watch some of these Pixar shorts, which some of them, as we noted, I don't think I saw, and same for you, I don't think we saw a couple of those previously with how movies are being released now, not in our days where it was on VHS or DVD and you kind of led up to it. So unless you saw it in the theater, I think is the only time you would have seen some of those newer ones.
Yeah, I hadn't seen some of those shorts. And yes, it was toasty. I have the tan lines to prove it.
Yeah, it was definitely a great weather week. Not in the extremes yet for California's sake, but it was definitely toasty for that time of year.
Which was great for the drinks, but also like didn't you got full fast? You're kind of like, oh, I'm so hot, I don't want to eat. But we still enjoyed all the food options, which we're gonna go through each of the stands as well as everything we tried there. Because I have it pulled up on the app, by the way, just so we don't forget anything cool. The little Pixar short theater was really cool. So if you are gonna be experiencing Pixar Fest at all this summer, definitely go to the back lot to check it out. Because I know the back lot's not necessarily one of those places people frequent because there's not much going on unless you're going for something specific. But you'll definitely want to check it out. They also have like these comfy like patio chairs out there as well, which is pretty cool. So if you want to take a little bit of rest, or if you have like your kids or you're with people who want to go on rides and you just want to kind of chill, it's a great place to kind of hang out. The Hollywood Lounge is there too. So if you want to grab a drink and sit and watch some Pixar shorts, it's a really cool place. You should definitely check it out.
A lot of added seating for enjoying all the snacks that we're about to talk about here. That oddly enough, they don't add during the other food festivals.
What's also really cool about that area in the backlot is they have like games, like they have like cornhole and like they have like giant chess and stuff like that. And like the games are like themed to the shorts. So it's pretty cool. And personally, Disney, I think you should keep that up all year long. I don't think it should just be a Pixar Fest type of thing. Like that should be constantly there.
Oh yeah. Like even if it's not just the Pixar shorts, I mean they got the little mini cartoon shorts, kind of like over at Disneyland, where inside the little theater there they have all the old Mickey cartoons playing on different screens.
Yeah.
I mean you could have like I like you said, I'd keep that setup. That was honestly very entertaining. I mean, I think we killed like an hour and a half of just sitting there, like trying to unwind a little bit, especially like how the movies are being released now. A lot of this like straight to Disney Plus, or if you're not going to see a Pixar film in theaters, like Inside Out 2, I actually probably will go see in theaters. I've heard a lot of good things about that.
Aim.
But a lot of these recent Pixar films, I have just only seen on Disney Plus. Unlike when you watch it before, it's not like when you start the movie, it plays the short first, then you go into the movie. It's going right to the movie. So I feel like a lot of these shorts that are being made are being missed. So that's a great opportunity to also promote those shorts and a lot of other things on top of a really good spot to just kind of chill in California Adventure, which I don't think you really have a lot of, where you just can go sit down and unwind for a little bit.
Well, also, there's nothing else back there. So it's not like they're using that space for anything that, that it would be replacing.
Yeah. Yet put Guardians of the Galaxy, no, Mission Breakout is California Adventure. Yeah. Galaxy Rewind. They need to find a way to get Galaxy Rewind there. Please.
That would be so legit. They need to add that. I was just talking last night. I was talking with my goddaughter about Disneyland versus Disney World because she grew up in Florida and they went to Disney World all the time. And I was like, listen, here are a couple rides that if they brought to Disneyland, there would just be no reason to go to Disney World. And that's one of those rides that I'm like, probably one of my top favorite Disney rides out of all the rides.
And I know we talk a lot about like stuff at Disney World should stay at Disney World, but that's one of those, please, dear God, bring it.
Not everything. I mean, there are things that definitely like just need to like they should not bring Pandora to Disneyland.
Yeah.
It makes literal no storytelling sense. It doesn't fit in the story at all. Another Guardians ride? Yeah, are you doubling up on Guardians? But what else are you going to do? Because you have Avengers Campus,
Which you're not doing a lot with rides there.
yeah, it fits with the theme because it's Guardians and then the Spider Man, and those are the only two attractions, I guess you can say. Right? There's nothing else.
No, because I know when they built like the Avengers campus, the basically where they have like that show that is hard to see because it's all up in the balcony and it's a weird angle. Like that building was supposed to be the show building for another ride that they just scrapped. I don't think they'll ever do anything with that, but at least like one more like key ride in that area would be phenomenal.
Well, we will definitely have to do a whole Avengers Campus episode and dissect our thoughts and feelings about that. But let's get back to Pixar because that's a whole different universe.
Pixar Fest and specifically the delicious food. Oh yeah. So you want to start off with the ones in the back lot since we kind of already went there?
Yeah, so because I tried the backlot ones. What I'll say is try all the food. We've tried, I think collectively we tried everything, just about everything, minus a lot of the sweets.
Yeah.
We did the food and drinks.
We did like a food and a drink, I think, at just about every one that I was at. I didn't do the back lot ones.
Yeah, so we could just start with the backlot ones. I was like, I was just going to start in order by what was on the app. Okay, so the one in the backlot is called Hanger Management, and that's the inside out themed stand. Just so you guys are aware, I'm pulling up the menu. So basically, our favorite mac and cheese. So that's what the food options were: mac and cheese. And there was joyful yellow comforting mac and cheese, and there was angry red hot mac and cheese. But what was super, super cool is that they had another option called mood swing, which was half and half. So I tried the half and half. And so it's really funny. So the display of it was really cool too. So it was half mac and cheese with like Cheeto puffs on top. And then the other side was like spicy mac and cheese. So it was like the curly macaroni and it was like it's like I don't think it's I don't think Cozy Cone Corner has the spicy mac this way, but maybe during Halloween time. Anyway, it was spicy mac and cheese and it had hot Cheetos on it.
Okay, I was gonna ask if the one had the regular Cheetos.
I'll make sure to post. I'll put together a reel of all the food that we got to partake of because it was pretty awesome. But yeah, but it was delicious. And I will say it was a good portion size. I was like, oh, this is kind of a lot of like I almost couldn't finish it. I finished it just for the sake of finishing it, but I was full like halfway. So very, very good. They do have an alcoholic beverage there, which I also tried. It was called the Mood Stabler Mule, and it was a lot of. It was like so it was bourbon based, but it didn't. You couldn't taste that it was like bourbon based, because there was like watermelon liqueur. I'm reading off candied orange and watermelon syrup. So basically, a watermelon bourbon mule with ginger beer, and it had little watermelon candies too, like little gummies. It was great. It was good. It's not my favorite. It wasn't my favorite, but it was pretty good. So I have no complaints there, and definitely try that one out. So it was really tasty. And Ryan, I know you'll get a chance to go again before Pixar Fest is over, so you can try it then.
Which sounds like I'm going to the mood swing.
Yeah,
Which one did you call it? Mood swing?
mood swing. Yeah, it's a mix. It's a half and half.
That sounds delicious. And just for the purposes of FDA compliance, the mood stabilizer does not legally change and stabilize your mood. Just a name. Because I've been watching a lot of History Channel food, the food that made us, and the whole FDA thing, and how like you can't promote that things do things that they aren't, like Red Bull and da da da. It does not actually stabilize your mood. Just a name.
Thank you for the disclaimer. Yeah, the other thing I really liked about the food stands was it wasn't like overwhelming with choices and options either. Because Food and Wine and sometimes Festival of Holidays, they'll have like two, sometimes three different food options. They'll have like more option, maybe not so much more. It's weird to say that even one extra option at something like a food stand seems overwhelming. So that was the cool thing. So this is totally a psychological thing, but I think for me it was nice that like I could go and do all the food stands in one day versus I need 2 or 3 days to even like attempt to at least visit each food stand, if like get one thing from each of them during Food and Wine, obviously because there's double, or something like Festival of Holidays, it, counting also the decadence of some of the sweet snacks. But yeah, that was the other cool thing, is that if you're only there for a day, that you could probably knock everything out. And the food portions were really filling. Like I said, I could barely finish the mac and cheese. Yeah, try it out. So that is called the Hanger Management, and that's in the back lot. So grab your mac and cheese and watch some shorts.
And the fact that they had the option to like, so you can mix the two together.
I know.
That's something you don't really see, where like before, like you'd have to buy like individual ones. The fact that you get an opportunity to try both their options with one, because unlike other food festivals that they have, there's no passes. It's not the you go buy your prepaid pass and you got to go scan and deal with all that. You pay for what you get.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit, I guess, more convenient.
Yeah, that was. So they were both good, but I liked the spicy mac and cheese better. In case anyone's like, I only want one of them. That's what I liked better, but they were both very good. But I like a little bit of a kick. So,
Yep. So hanger management, mac and cheese, and a mood stabilizer. That one I'll definitely check out. Was one that was gonna go check out with you, but again, we got to that point where it was hot, not hungry enough to be able to stomach that for sure. Where are we going to next? Where are you taking us on this adventure?
we go down the road to Gasto's to go.
Had one of my favorites.
Do you want to describe and explain Gasto's to go? I mean, I'm going to pull up the menu, but
I don't remember the specific name. The ratatouille pizzelle.
Pizzetta. It was a ratatouille mini pizza. This was my favorite food option. I like the mac and cheese. Don't get me wrong. Who doesn't love good mac and cheese? This was my favorite. Was it yours too, Ryan?
Oh yeah, it was definitely the favorite. And out of all the good things, that one I think we saved that one to the very end too, right? We're like, let's wait on this one, have it be the last. And I wish I had gotten more that day because it was so good. But did we get the drink there? Yeah, I think I got the drink there, if I remember right.
You got one of them. So this one, so I was actually surprised. Pixar Fest had way more alcoholic options. And I don't know if it's that they had a few different things they wanted to try, because with food and wine, I think most of them had an alcoholic beverage, but there was also 12
Mhm.
stands or 10 stands or whatever they did this year.
Yeah,
And there's clearly only 6. Well, one of them didn't have an alcoholic beverage anyway. Gestos to go had 2, and I think one of the other ones did too when we go through it. But they had a Le Critique cognac sidecar and the little French daiquiri. You had the daiquiri, right? Is that what you got?
I think I got the sidecar. I think I wanted to get the daiquiri.
You regret?
I think I should have got the daiquiri. We'll get the daiquiri too next time, but
So no on the sidecar.
no, the sidecar was good. If I remember right, though, like it just typically is there's a what is it? Is it the cognac in there? There was something in there that I was like,
Cognac, and it was topped with sparkling wine. I think that's what you mentioned you didn't like.
yeah, that's what threw me off. I think a little bit because then the daiquiri that's usually more my flavor. Still loved it. Still enjoyed it. It was a good drink, but yeah, they had the pear. That was the one I think they had like the little pear, the dried pear on top.
No, the pear one was the French daiquiri, which also had wine in it too.
Oh, then I got the French daiquiri. Huh.
See, I thought you got the French daiquiri.
Yeah, I got the French daiquiri then. Oh man, my memory is not serving me all the way.
I thought about the sidecar and then I was like, it's too hot. I got to pace myself. But there was another item on the menu, and it is a sweet, which to be honest, I'm really regretting we didn't get this. It was the Gasto macaroon.
Oh yeah,
And it's because it's a creme brulee mousse with caramel center.
I don't think we got any sweets that day.
We didn't get any sweets. No, and I'm kind of regretting it now. I'm like, oh, because I'm not going to Pixar Fest. I won't be going to Disneyland until after Pixar Fest is over. So I'm really kind of upset because I really wanted. I only get upset about not getting a macaroon. Anytime I'm upset about not getting something, it has to do with a macaroon because sometimes they have some like weird macaroons, and sometimes they have really good ones. But I did try. Oh, uh shoot, I don't know what it was called, but it was at Jolly Holiday Bakery and it was a seasonal macaroon and it was giant. Like it was a pretty good sized macaroon and it was a cherry and vanilla macaroon. It was super pretty, but it also is so tasty. And I had that the day before, so maybe that's why I was like, oh, too much sugar. I don't think I had any sugar. I don't think I had any sugar at all that day outside of the drink. I think it was because a lot of the drinks are sugar based.
Yeah, yeah.
So all the cocktails at all the stands were very fruity, sugary. So keep that in mind as you're planning what you're going to eat and drink at these stands.
That one at the Jolly Holiday, not too decadent to eat the entirety of the thing.
Oh no, it was, but it was like the only thing. It was like the only thing I ate, and I ate it the day before. So
Because I felt like in the Food and Wine Festival one, the Snickers Mickey Mouse macaroon was large, good, but like one person eating it was a lot.
well, you also have a lot of chocolate, like heavy chocolate in there, and that can make it that alone is more decadent than like just the size of you combine it with like how much of it there is.
Yep. So I definitely had the little French daiquiri. Yep. French wine, aperitif, pear nectar, cherry. Yeah, that was that one. Because then I remember looking over at the strawberry puree with the cognac, the little critique cognac sidecar. Should have got that one. Hmm. That's what I regretted.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm looking at them, they both sound a lot better than I thought they did. Well, to be honest, I'm not a fan of strawberry puree and things. I tried a drink at Red Rose Tavern as well, and it was strawberry rose lemonade. It was good, but it was way too much strawberry puree. Like, and not just like for me, but like in general, it was a lot. So, FYI, if you're gonna try that, it was very refreshing and it had rose petals on top. It was great.
I think that's what set me away from that. Is like I thought it was going to be more like a slushy, and I was not feeling like a heavy slushy at that time. Like the other one looked a little bit more lighter and refreshing
The puree made it feel like a slushy.
because I didn't really see the pictures of it. It's not like I had it up on my app, could see the stuff. If I remember, it was just like reading it. It was like,
Picture was on the stand. Pictures are on the stand.
I'm like right at the cashier. I wasn't looking all the way up.
Oh, I was like, they're all there.
Yeah. I'm looking like right where the cashier was, making a quick decision because like a lot of it, there was not lines for I don't think any of them really. If you remember, it was you could like walk right up and go get it.
There wasn't. The park was kind of empty that day, though.
Yeah, the Tuesday that was the Tuesday. The Friday, even the Friday when it was a little bit busier, was still not like packed.
No, it was. Yeah, it was Friday. It didn't get packed till later on in the day, and we started eating early.
Yep.
Any other thoughts or feelings about your drink? Since you tried one of the drinks and I had not.
Nothing on the drink. The Gusto's Ratatouille Pizzetta. I've never had Ratatouille, but now it actually inspired me to like, I'm gonna go try to figure out how to make it myself. I actually think the recipes in that recipe book I had, and then the brie cheese on top, I think was like what set it above and beyond. It was nice, melted. It was like it was so good.
It was actually Camembert, not Brie.
It was what?
Camembert,
Oh, well, I have deceived.
which I love me a good Camembert. Yeah, Camembert tastes a little bit different than Brie, by the way. FYI, everyone. I love me a good Camembert. Yeah, so you guys look at the pictures of these things. It looks so good and it tasted really good because it's mozzarella, eggplant, squash, zucchini, and a drizzle of tomato sauce with a wedge of French Camembert on top. So, which I thought was super cool that they had that, and also like not cheap.
No, about what? Like I think everything was like between like 15 and $17 for each item.
No, I wasn't talking about the food. I was talking about the Camembert is not cheap. So the food was like between like it was like around the $8 range. So same thing as like food and wine. So it was around the $8 range for each of the food items. No, you're thinking the alcohol is like $17.
Yeah, that was about right.
Yeah, the alcoholic beverages are 17, but the food is about like in the $8 range.
Okay.
So that is Gusto's to go. Where are we going next?
Let's go to what I'll call my second favorite was the Porto Rosso pasta inspired by Luca.
Oh, that was so good.
Yes, the Porto Rosso pesto pasta, which before we had Gusto's was my reigning favorite, and then Gusto's took over the immediate second I took a bite into the pizzetta there. So the Porto Rosso pesto pasta, ribbon pasta tossed in basil pesto with potatoes and green beans. I do remember thinking like the green beans was a little weird because they're like the dried green beans you can get like snacked in bags, but very delicious. I also remember thinking the container was not big enough to like try to eat it, trying to keep it all without falling out.
It was a tiny bowl.
It was a tiny bowl with a good portion size of pasta. Very good. Not too heavy, not too overpowering too. And then we also got I've been waiting to want to say this one, the Silencio Limoncello.
I'm so glad you got to do this one, and that you got to say it the way you wanted to say it.
Silencio Bruno. That's I love that. Very underrated movie too, in my opinion. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I thought it was okay.
But Silencio Limoncello is limoncello, amaretto, and Aperol liqueurs, blood orange syrup, lemonade, and house-made oregano tea garnished with micro daisies. That one was probably my favorite beverage, though, out of all the ones we had.
That was not my favorite. That was my second favorite beverage. I think. Yeah, I want to say it was my second favorite beverage. We'll get to my favorite one soon. But this is my second favorite beverage. Also, everyone, for your enjoyment, we're just reading off of the menu for you, as if you can't go and see what's in it. But that way, it kind of reminds us, like, oh, what do we like? What did we not like? And it's cute because they have these little daisies on top, and you're like, it's just a pretty drink. All of the drinks looked so. There was a great display to both the food and the drink. I do have a question for you, Ryan,
Yes.
because you said until you tried the ratatouille, this was your favorite. After you took a bite of the ratatouille, but when you had the ratatouille in front of you, did you question this might be my favorite, or was it kind of like, oh, I'm not really sure what this is going to be like? Like, I'm just curious on, was it when you first tasted it, or when you first looked at it that you're kind of like, ooh, this might be my favorite?
Immediately, like looking at it because it looks just delicious, just even looking at it, and it's a very good presentation. Where the pasta, I mean, as a like, I love pasta. Can't go wrong with pasta. I think it's my main food group, so I knew I was going to like that one. And then going to the ratatouille pizzetta just looks delicious. And I like immediately right before I took a bite, I'm like, it's probably like I was excited for that. That like the reason we saved that one for the end was like the best tasting one in our opinion. Like just looking at it, like presentation and all. Yeah. So like in my head before even having that, after the pasta, had an idea that that was going to take over as the favorite. But that like the Porto Rosso pesto pasta immediately was like, I definitely know I want to try that one. If I don't try anything else, definitely trying that. Even like oddly enough, I'm not huge on pesto. like it's kind of make or break for me. Got to be like kind of the mood.
Oh, I love pesto.
I'm more like a tomato based sauce person. As good as it was, the pizzetta just, I mean, looks good, great presentation, and then the not brie cheese on the top too.
Well, also I thought it was also super unique too.
Yeah,
You get pasta anywhere. There's a great spin. It was great pasta, great pesto. But like I said, like it was also the uniqueness of the food and the quality.
yeah, like pesto is gonna taste like pesto. There wasn't like a weird mashup aside from the green beans, but nothing that was like out of the ordinary. Like you knew you were getting pasta. Pretty, it was a safe bet. Where yeah, the pizzetta, like a nice mashup. You got pizza and then ratatouille too. Not a preview to the next movie, but
It was so good. Now I kind of want some.
right. I almost wanted to grab another one just to have it later.
I literally kind of want to just be like, can I pull off another Disney? I can't though, but I wish I could.
While we're still here at Porto Rosso, they also have the non-alcoholic drink, the Sea Monster lemonade. I did not have it, but a friend of mine had it when we were there too, and that's just another good, refreshing drink. Nothing too heavy, delicious.
They also have an Italian Pilsner in case anyone's in a beer mood when they go get their pasta. So we've covered hanger management, Gusto's to go, and Porto Rosso pasta. So we're halfway there. We're halfway there. I just want to sing Living on a Prayer right now. So let's go. Let's go to the Spark, which is the soul inspired. And this one is in Paradise Gardens Park. I did not eat here, but I did drink here. So do you know which ones do you know which one this is, Ryan? Are you looking it up?
I ate there. You did not. You got the drink.
Yeah. So this stand I think has the most options, not necessarily just food, but like the most overall options because they have two food items. As far as alcohol goes, they do have a cocktail, but then they have a lot of beer options and they also have a flight option as well. If you're in the beer mood, this is probably where you want to go.
Yeah, typically the stand that's like the big alcohol cart during Food and Wine Fest, if I remember right, where if you want like all the tasting flights of the wine and the beer, I think that's that one.
Yeah, by Paradise Gardens. So you had the Supper Club chicken and potato waffles.
Yes.
How was that? It looked good. I mean, there are things I'll let you describe it, but there are things that I'm like, I probably don't see this being appetizing for me.
I remember you pointing this out to me right away, like saying this is something I'd like because you saw that I had peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Like I never liked peach cobbler growing up, and then I got turned on to it being in the South for so long. And yeah, I remember you pointing that out, saying like, "Oh, look, it's got peach cobbler," and then looking at it, it's basically chicken and waffles. I don't remember whether the waffles were potato based, but yeah, chicken and potato waffles covered in peach cobbler sauce. It was good. It didn't really, I want to say, blow me away because I remember like even as I was taking a bite through it, I couldn't even figure out what was the waffle, what was the chicken part. But like once you actually realize like what was what and you combined it together, it was a really good combination. Like if you like chicken and waffles and you like peach cobbler, you're going to enjoy it. But definitely wasn't like didn't blow me away as far as like the other two options, the food options we got. And then we didn't do the red velvet cake, but I remember talking about how decadent and overpowering that one might be.
Well, no, there was a different one that we talked about being decadent. Yeah, we haven't gotten to that stand yet. We were gonna try it, but we didn't. No, this is just like it's just basically red velvet cake. That's all it is. It's like shaped in a note and like decorated that way.
Yeah, so it's not this one. So okay, so then the drink option. I see a lot of the beers and everything, but what do you remember? I know you remember what drink you got. That's that was a dumb question. So the drink option you got.
The Great Beyond.
Oh, that didn't sound cute.
First of all, cool name. This drink, okay, this was by far the prettiest drink out of all of the drinks, and also the tastiest one out of all the drinks. Also, I'm partial to gin, which this is a gin-based drink. This wasn't super sweet either, which is probably why it was my favorite because I don't really like the sweet drinks or like the too many like fruit flavors. So it has gin, maraschino liqueur, violet and blue Caraco syrups, which, I'm careful with the blue Caracos, but It was still cool. Lemon juice and pear nectar, which I thought was interesting because I couldn't taste the pear very much. So it wasn't pear forward, which was good because I'm not a pear flavored fan. And it was topped with a butterfly pea flower tea, which is super tasty. And I mean, butterfly pea anything is great. And then it was garnished with a white orchid. It was really pretty and it was really good. And it wasn't like on the sweet side. It was like super refreshing, super light, didn't taste heavy at all. If you want something on the lighter side and not on like a super sweet side,
Mm,
I probably could have had another one of those.
yeah.
Didn't taste super alcoholic either. Well, none of the drinks did. None of them were like had a heavy alcohol because they're pre-mixed. So the alcohol content is pretty low.
It wasn't like too sugary
No.
because with me, with like some of these drinks, like as delicious and colorful as they are, I don't do well with like the really sugary stuff. That's probably what I think turned me away from getting anything here other than the food.
Well, this one wasn't sugary at all. The other ones were like super sugary.
Yeah. But so this one was your favorite drink.
This was my favorite, the Great Beyond.
That was not what I was actually thinking. So I'm actually, shocked in that one.
That wasn't? What did you think it was?
No, we'll get there.
There's only one other drink we had.
I know. That's where I thought it was going to be the one from the Elemental booth.
I didn't like that one.
No?
It might have been my least favorite one.
Interesting. And a lot of the rest of the drinks, other than like the themed one, it looks like it's just basically how they operate with the Food and Wine Fest, where it's just different flights, different beers, and all that. Man, I wish I had saw that.
It's not like you're not gonna go again.
Yeah, but I have like my go-to alcoholic beverage places when I go there for beers. Like I don't mind tasting different beers, but I don't think some of these really. That's what it was. No one really caught my eye that I haven't had before and tried. Because like my normal go-to is like the blood orange at Pim's Test Kitchen. Or is it Pim's Lab? Pim's Lab. Sorry, there it is. I know there's a difference. Very colorful. The theming just of all the food that they did there to like get it toward the Pixar films. As we've talked before about Pixar Fest, this is one I think they've done really good job with just everything they've released between the food, the popcorn, the parades, all of it.
Oh yeah.
I've been impressed every time I go there.
Constantly impressed.
Yeah. Did not let down and hope they continue this as they keep going. I'm hoping to see more. Anything else on the Spark inspired by Soul? Because yep, we talked about the sparkler, the cotton candy and blue curacao syrups, mango puree,
What?
the sparkler, the other drink. You didn't have it, but because I think that's the green looking one I'm looking at here.
Oh yeah. That's a non-alcoholic one.
Is it?
It is. I wouldn't try it because it just sounds disgusting.
Very sugary.
If I remember correctly, when I saw the picture, it looked cool, but I wouldn't drink it because it's cotton candy and blue Caraco syrups. First of all, hello, sugar overload. And it has mango puree and pineapple and lime juices. That just sounds so.
With a glow cube.
Yeah, which you really want that glow cube though. You'll get the sparkler.
I've gotten the drinks not from like the Food and Wine Fest and the other ones. Not specifically for the glow cube, but like I've gotten them and now they're just sitting in like my cupboard doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't do things. There's this one cocktail at Hollywood Lounge during Halloween time that I always get, and it's super yummy. And they have like gummy worms in it and everything like that, and they have the glow cubes in it. So I have these glow cubes. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Oh, I did get a cool glow cube when I had like an Elsa, like a frozen slushy during Christmas time a couple years ago. So that was cool. If you really are all about the glow cubes, unless you want to like put them in your drinks at home, cool. I'm too lazy to do things like that. Cotton candy flavored anything, like growing up, I loved cotton candy flavored bubble gum, and I love cotton candy like on its own. But like a cotton candy flavored drink is just
It's just sugar.
maybe 10 years ago I would have been like, "Ooh, I want to try that," but maybe it's just my age that's like, "Ew."
So do we want to turn red or do we want to go elemental with the next one?
Oh, isn't that a clever line?
Was building that one up.
I'm giving you props for that line. That was a good one. That was really good.
So yeah, I think we should go turning red because I think this one we don't have too much to say.
We only tried one thing though.
We only tried the one thing and it was good.
It was. I was surprised at how good I thought it was based on my initial like presuppositions of what it would taste like.
Not as good as the girl screaming during the Better Together festival for the turning red float.
Oh my God.
It didn't make you scream like that?
I don't understand. Like, I know when it first came out, there were people who were like super all for it, but I haven't heard like I don't see it come back around anywhere.
Because you work with teenagers. Do none of them like have? Not that I think you'd pry for that information.
Well, I don't think it's a teenage geared thing. No, none of my no, I work with older teenagers.
Okay,
No, but I'm around kids a lot too, and like all my nieces and like I watch when I watch like Disney Pixar stuff, I'm watching it with kids. So like I don't watch them on my own.
with how much we've talked about like why, because a lot of Pixar Fest seems to be, I don't want to say overloaded with Turning Red, but the fact that that one girl watching the parade, she saw the float and the red panda, and like, I mean, enjoy the excitement, you know, glad to see, something happy, going on there, but to scream like that during a parade for that float, like, I mean, I got excited for the up float. Like, I love Doug and Kevin and all that, but I mean, I am a grown man. I'm not going to scream during a parade, but like to be that excited, like a girl at I'll say a Backstreet Boys concert back in the day.
Well, maybe it was for what's the group? Four Town? Isn't that what they're called in the movie?
Four times, yeah,
Maybe that's what she was screaming for.
right. Like, yeah, so wasn't screaming at the top of your lungs.
Ew, Backstreet Boys? You use Backstreet Boys as a reference?
In Sync, Backstreet Boys. I don't know.
That's right, NSYNC all the way. Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
NSYNC fans were way higher pitched screamers than Backstreet Boys fans are.
okay, so was she in sync or was she a back? She was an in sync screamer.
She was a Four Town girl.
She's four down. I don't know. That's what I see the little girl in the clip do during the fireworks show when they reference that, the little yeah. Anyway, Turning Red, right? What they call it? The Four Town. Oh, it's called the Four Town Favorites, the booth. So
Yes.
good transition. Inspired by Turning Red and the Red Panda Bow, which I'm going to reference back to the cheeseburger bow we had during Food and Wine Fest, that the expectation going into it, like I love bow, was hoping it wasn't going to be kind of like, I guess, the same letdown, and was not let down. It was good, especially the chili sauce, right? Yeah, chili garlic sauce that came with it. It was good. I have no complaints.
It had a red color to it too, which was cool. So like in theme,
Yeah,
it was almost like a red splotchy look, I guess.
the bow was turning red. The look of it turning red. Yeah,
Look at you being punny today.
I've come alive.
And like it's 102 degrees. I don't have it in me to be punny, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And it's a big bow bun too. It was not small,
Yeah.
right?
It was a good size, and they had the chili garlic sauce on the side. So which I thought was great.
Yeah,
But make sure you mix it because at first I didn't mix it because there's like sesame in it too.
you just got the oil.
So good when I didn't mix it, and then I realized I could mix it, and I was like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, was not disappointed. Jumbo pork and vegetable stuffed bow. Not that I go crazy for spicy stuff, but it wasn't like too ridiculous on the spicy factor. It was just a good flavor spice, not like where you're, needing the drink to like get through it. So that one had all around good flavor. And now I see the dessert that we were talking about that was like, yeah, that might be just way too much.
Yeah, but I so wanted like one bite of this. It sounded so good. I wanted like just a bite because it was like I saw someone walking around and it's like kind of like a long tray. So it's a layer of chocolate chunk brownie and New York style cheesecake topped with orange and green, or not orange and green, orange and red cream cheese frosting.
So I've got to imagine that the brownie is like the what I'd like call like the graham cracker layer for the cheesecake. Man, yeah, for that day, that would have been a little bit too much. But like, did you see how big it was though? Because that'd be like if it was like a not massive tray.
It wasn't huge. It wasn't huge. Like it was a good, decent size, but like definitely a shareable size.
Yeah,
Unless like that was again all you were eating for the day. But it wasn't like huge, but it was a good size.
yeah, I might go try that one if it's a little bit cooler down.
I really, really looked at my calendar to see like if I could just squeeze like a random day. And it's just like because I'm already coming out to California, but I'm coming out for a wedding. So the whole time I'm there, I can't go.
Our Magic Key Chats followers need, along with me, to post as many photos of the rest of this Pixar Fest food to motivate Amanda to get back before it ends.
Listen, I will survive. There are a lot of other good things in life. I'll be fine. It's just as we're talking about it, Honestly, it's because we're talking about it. Because I probably didn't even think about any of this stuff after I left.
I'll send a Pixar Fest food care package. Just get all the rest of the things. I'll buy it.
That would be disgusting.
Why?
Because it would go bad.
No, there's ways to do it.
Panda apocalypse cheesecake.
That one at least would survive. Like, I mean, the bao bun and stuff, that wouldn't survive shipping and packing. But I mean, we have technology to do this now.
Listen, the macaroon though,
The Gusteau one.
I would be all for that. You can send me the macaroon. I would not be opposed to it. I'll definitely eat a shipped macaroon.
The last thing here at Four Town Favorites too, the Nobody Likes You cooler.
Nobody like you, not nobody likes you. Okay? It's not saying nobody likes you. It's saying nobody like you. Cooler.
I'm gonna have to talk about my therapist about that one. I just immediately read Nobody Like You cooler.
Could you imagine Disneyland's like, yeah, we have a drink called Nobody Likes You?
Because it's not even just how I read it now, it's also how I read it in the park too.
You always just thought that they had a drink called Nobody Likes You?
Yeah, I thought that went with like kind of the theme of the.
Like Disney's losing it, but not that much.
And now as I'm playing the song that is in the movie, it is Nobody Like You. Oh, man. Joffrey's coffee and tea, which I love Joffrey's. Raspberry rose tea, white cranberry, lime and orange juice, and cherry syrup garnished with an orange wedge gum candy. It's a non-alcoholic. So that actually sounds refreshing, and it doesn't sound like too sugary. The gummy bite, but
Second, anyone puts syrup in anything, I'm like, ugh.
it's just the raspberry rose tea.
Dude, raspberry rose tea on its own, I'm all for it.
I immediately when I saw Joffrey's coffee, I'm trying to figure out how that played in. I didn't realize they had teas too.
Yeah, it's the brand.
Yeah.
Where you're like, is this a coffee drink?
That's what went to my head because when I think Joffrey's coffee.
Yeah.
Because normally when I go get coffee at Disney, especially Disney World, we always stop at a Joffrey's coffee. And they have the Joffrey's coffee branded. I think I've mentioned that on here before. Did not know they had teas. So that'll be some investigative work I will do and maybe an episode worthy of talking about. Yeah, that one sounds good. Going back to it, I don't think there was anything we saw there that was like, no, I wouldn't try it. Not bad. Just the day of there was like, okay, that panda.
Oh, there was one thing. There was one thing. We haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anything we've discussed so far was great.
Everything so far. Okay. Elemental. I'm trying to remember what they called this one. They literally just called it the elemental table.
Which, by the way, I had mentioned to Ryan, a really clever thing they could have done was called it elementable, because it would have been a double play on words. But no, elemental table.
Everything else was like hit on point for the thing. Yep.
Redundant with their letters.
Elemental table. It just rolls off the tongue. Elementable. Elementable.
Yeah, because it's like edible, right? Like it's the ending.
Yep.
Okay, but also table is in there, and you just combine the words. It would have just been a great double play on words. However, you're welcome, Disney. You should hire me. I was part of your creative team.
So this is the one that I thought had your favorite drink. Probably had my second favorite drink because somebody who likes spicy margaritas, or at least the closest thing I could find to it in this Pixar Fest. Had the two different margaritas, the H2O Rita and the exothermic margarita, which was the one that I had. You had the exothermic too, right?
I had the exothermic as well, and I did not think it tastes like a spicy margarita.
Like I said, it was the closest thing I've been able to find so far, at least during that festival. Aside from what you can get in the park, I thought it was pretty good. The only thing I think I remember saying to you that I wish they would have changed to it was like adding like the tahini or the mango chamoy rim, as opposed to, I mean, the rock candy thing. Cool, nice touch.
Surprisingly didn't.
Like that, I think would have made it my favorite drink.
It would have been 10 times better. It wouldn't have been my least favorite drink. It would have been my second least favorite drink.
Yeah. So this was your least favorite?
I mean, the Great Beyond is my favorite. My second favorite is a Silencio Limoncello. And then I guess the exothermic margarita is tied with the mood stabilizer.
Yeah.
Because those are the only ones I had.
Okay.
As far as the Pixar themed ones. Because I'm not a big margarita fan to begin with. And it didn't even taste like a margarita. And it was, honestly, it felt more sweet to me than it should.
Yeah.
If someone just handed me both drinks and it says, taste this, I would have felt more refreshed with the exothermic margarita. But comparatively to what I ordered and expected, based on like what I ordered and expected with the mood stabilizer, my expectations were far met with the mood stabilizers than they were with the exothermic margarita. So I think that kind of skews it. So they're kind of tied, I guess. It wasn't like anything wow. It was good, but it was kind of like after halfway, I was like, okay, cool. I'm done. The rock candy was great.
So they both have the rock candy stick.
But I think that also added extra sweetness to it. So
Yeah, that's probably why it was, because like the other one, the H2O Rita, that one to me seems like that would have just been tasted like pure sugar. Because again, what we're going back to Caraco syrup. I love the theming of it though. Both like I don't remember the characters' names in Elemental, but one is themed toward water, one is themed toward fire. Again, hating on all the notes of the theming for Pixar. Some of it looks good. You hear, and I remember like I was getting ready to order it, and I remember you told me like to double check the description. So smoke, firewood, barbecue.
I usually have to tell you to double check the descriptions on things so you don't accidentally order grape beignets.
Yeah, I tend to think with my stomach and not actually reading the things.
I'm basically gonna see like how many episodes I could work in grape beignets.
I don't think we've missed one yet, but it looks good. Photo looks great. And then you see the word impossible chicken. And then immediately was like, oh, smoke fire. If it was just smoke fire wood barbecue spice chicken, would it easily give this a try? And then you see impossible. And again, to those who like the impossible, whatever, but come on.
Impossible chicken though, like I can get behind slightly the impossible beef. You could pull that off because the way you can season it, I get it. But chicken,
See, I don't know how they get away with calling it chicken after knowing all these FDA things I learned on the History Channel show.
I mean, I just don't want to know how to get away with it. So let's not think too much about it other than, hey, flavors sound really good.
Yeah.
Just the idea of impossible to us is I'm not going to try this.
Barbecue spiced impossible chicken with hot mustard sauce, pickles, and charred onions. If you got rid of the impossible, by far would have easily tried that. It looks delicious. Kind of a letdown for me because, and I think that was the only impossible food that was the only impossible food we saw. They have to have one at every food festival, as we've noted. And then the Colnut Whoopie cookie pie. Did you have thoughts in it? Because this is actually the first time I'm seeing it.
Oh, I saw it. I saw the picture and it looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would eat it though. Like if someone got it and was like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, totally." I probably would have been like, "Oh, that's not bad." But it's just, I mean, it's like those. What does it remind you of? Those like I forgot what they're called, but like the little cake pies with the cream.
The whoopie pie.
Yeah,
Like the Hostess whoopie pies. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't like them very much.
Like looking at it, it looked more like a macaroon to me at first.
At first, I thought it was a macaroon until I looked at the menu and I'm like, "Oh, not a macaroon."
I mean, yeah, it looks good, and I think it's themed to like because the father of the fire girl in the movie. God, I'm bugging me that I don't remember her name because I actually enjoyed that movie. It was a good movie.
I still haven't seen it.
It's a good movie. The father owns like a deli in the city and everything. I think that's what like not they don't sell the whoopie pies, but
Hey, that's my life.
yeah, that's why I think you would actually enjoy it.
I don't enjoy things that are too much like my life. That's why I don't like Cinderella.
Just like, wait, what character are you relating to in Cinderella? I'm curious. It's not Cinderella, is it?
Yeah, my whole life was cleaning. Are you kidding me? I'm from a Middle Eastern family.
You have evil stepsisters and an evil stepmother.
Oh.
Well, we hit all the food stands, but that's not all that's there. And I'm still upset at myself because I've had plenty of opportunity to go find this thing, but I haven't gotten it. But the Pixar cake, was it red, yellow, and blue? Like the Pixar theme cake.
It's at Plaza Inn.
I know. I just keep not going to get it. Family members of mine have had it. It looks colorful, looks good, which in most part I'm like, if it's too colorful, because for some reason, like food coloring does not sit well with me personally, but it looks simple, looks cool.
Many things have food coloring in them, though.
The certain food dyes, like a lot of stuff like the red 40, which is really not good for you.
Red Dye 40, which isn't like everything.
Yeah, which is, well, not soon enough in California because they have proposed to ban it, I guess, or however they want to word it. But yeah, Plaza Inn, the Pixar Fest cake. And I know if you go do the Better Together food and dining package. They give you a little mini version of it.
Let's mention that because we walked by when they had just gotten seated and like the food was placed in front of them for the Better Together dining package. And I was like, I think I would actually do this.
Yeah.
Like because I was like, that looks really good. Like the plate looked really good.
Yeah, because in comparison to when I went to the Tomorrowland Terrace, the main food options were okay, and then like the little dessert thing was just I really think it was a whoopie pie if I remember right, and it seemed for what you're paying for seemed kind of like cheap, cheesy put together, but the Better Together I keep wanting to call it like the Pixar Fest parade.
I mean, it is.
The Better Together parade food and dining package, like the food options actually looked good, and then the little obviously you get the little Pixar cake too. So if you don't want to go to the Plaza Inn to get it, that's another option. And I think it's like a full size cake. It's not like I mean, it's literally like a small square for the Better Together, but you're also getting other food along with it.
Basically, any themed time of the year, Plaza Inn has a piece of cake that fits the theme. So there's right now it's just the Pixar cake. It's the same cake. And then during Halloween time, I think they have I don't know what it's themed towards.
Initially, I thought the Better Together dining package seemed a little, I don't want to say overpriced. Didn't really seem worth it to me, but I love that parade. I mean, not like their best one, but it's still a fun parade.
I was impressed with most of it because I've seen like the regular parades they have at DCA, and I was actually surprised to see that they had like full floats for Pixar Fest,
Yeah.
which I didn't expect to see. I thought it was just going to be kind of more like a little bit more additive to what they already have, which is usually like characters or cavalcades. They usually do more cavalcade type of stuff. So I thought it was gonna be more like that, but it was really cool. Okay, I loved the lamp at the beginning when it came out.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I will say if there was any critique that I would have is that it was the same song the whole time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really like too remixed into and maybe we just have high expectations because of the Magic Happens parade where it's the music is changes based on whatever floats coming out. Maybe that's just timing and how the DCA park is laid out. But I think it would have been cool to have at least a little bit of that, like or remixing into those characters, like with the Incredibles theme song, or even something with like Luca or Up. Like there was just a missed opportunity there, in my opinion, as far as what they could have done. Again, that could have been a logistical nightmare for them, and that's why they didn't do it. But as an observer of parades, I think that might be maybe not the only criticism because it's that and it was a little like the Incredibles part was a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna add in is like they're on their little roller cart thing, whatever you want to call it, that they're in every parade. And short little bit, you got Frozone, Mr. Incredible, and then Mrs. Incredible just riding around on their little carts. And it's the same thing they do in their other parades too.
Yeah. I was showing my friend's kid the video of the parade and she's like, where are Dash and Violet? Like, good question.
They don't even have like an actual float. Like you could have had a full size float with that, like they did the other ones.
Even if they were just walking by, if you're gonna have the whole Incredible family, you do the red suits. If you're just gonna have Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, then you should have them in their original like blue suits.
Blue suits, yeah. Or and like Edna Mode could have been walking around on a float.
Yeah, why was Edna Mode not there?
Yeah. Edna, yeah, there are a lot of.
I didn't think I'd have this many opinions about the parade because I thought it was great. Like, I mean, they had guys on rollerblades, like guys and girls on rollerblades, bikes. I mean, I just thought those were fantastic in betweens, and the up float was super cute. And can we just talk about how Russell is riding on Kevin?
The Russell character like moves to make it look like he's actually talking while he's riding on Kevin. That was a fun detail. Like he's not just sitting on their perch. Like they have his head move, his eyes open and close. Like he's actually like going along with the words that he's saying because he speaks during it too. That one's cool.
I'm interested to see how they're gonna keep around some of the stuff that they've created for Pixar Fest.
Yeah.
Whether it's within the parade, because because at Disney World, I think in Animal Kingdom, you do see Kevin roaming around.
Yeah, this big old large Kevin The funny story I told you about with the lady who was terrified of birds and Kevin was chasing her around was too funny to me. But yeah, like keeping that, and then Doug on the back there too, like keeping some of those characters that now you actually see in costume, which I don't think we had really ever seen before too. Like that would be fun, like having Kevin walking around or having Doug be a frequent character would be nice. And then like the Luca float, I think actually was one of my, back to Luca, one of my favorite ones too, because something, if you didn't notice, so the characters, you, because it looks like they're half in water, half out of water.
Yeah.
The half of the character that's in the water is in their mermaid form, like they are in the movies.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah. And then the top half is like they're in their human form. Like small little thing. Like the first time I saw it, I thought they were just running around, but it looks like they're in the water and half of them is their mermaid, half is up top.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool float.
Mm-hmm. And then the license plate too on the back.
So yeah, so they had Toy Story. They ended with, well, they didn't end with, but towards the end they had Woody on.
Yep, Toy Story, Woody, Buzz, and Jesse, right? And then they had Mike and Sully.
No, 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 no. Woody was before on his own on the dump truck.
Oh,
It was just Woody on the dump truck, and they had a license. What you were thinking about is the license plate on the back of that said "Better Together,"
yep.
which was very cool that because that was the song that kept going on, was something about being better together.
Don't start it because it's gonna get stuck in my head if you start singing.
I couldn't even try if I wanted to. Like, I don't even remember how it went.
Okay, good.
But it got stuck in my head because I was playing the video last night for my friend's kid, and then it was like in my head for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Get out of my head! Like, you're not even that good of a song." But yeah, but I couldn't like bring it out of my memory. The other parades, I could bring the songs out of my memory easy, but not that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like not a letdown at all. Great parade. Like I said, any criticism I have is just very basic. I was surprised not to see any of the army guys in the parade though. I know they do mini like army guy cavalcade like later on in the day as part of the entertainment as well. I guess yeah, that's cool, but I was just surprised that they didn't also add it in there. But yeah, they did have that ending float where they had Miguel and they had Mike and Sully, Jesse and Buzz.
Kind of mashed them a couple together. Where like Cars, I don't think was included. Maybe they added it later on.
Yeah, they should have had like a Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, they have the vehicles that go around Cars Land, and maybe that's a reason why they don't have it. The fact like Cars is not included at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a Lightning McQueen float from like Electric Parade or like Paint the Night or something?
Maybe.
I remember there was one point, and it might have been one of the nighttime light parades. They probably could have done that without the lights. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing, yeah, it was during either Electric Parade or Paint the Night. They had a Cars themed float.
Yeah, there's no Cars. And then, which I think is actually more of a movie that hits teenagers having a teenage son and his friends. Like they love Monsters University.
That hits all ages. Are you kidding me? That's an all age Pixar.
Yeah. And the fact that they were just kind of thrown at the end, that's where I was like, some of those movies, especially Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Cars that really made Pixar what they are, not really getting too much representation.
Where was our Pixar princess?
Is that Brave?
Merida.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brave. Merida, not at all.
She's a Pixar princess, right? Where was she?
She wasn't in there, but we had, Four Town.
I'm just kidding. I don't care that she wasn't there.
We had Four Town going around for a good little bit.
They had their whole big float.
Uh-huh.
And I yeah, I didn't even think until we just started talking about it. I didn't even think like, oh, there's no Cars representation. What else? I feel like there's something else missing, but I can't remember. Is there?
Oh, yeah.
That would have made sense to put in.
Yeah.
Because Cars is one of those things where how do you not at least have like a Lightning McQueen?
Lightning McQueen and Mater could have just been riding down the street with whatever it may be.
They could have just been riding down the street on their own.
Yeah, Monsters University, Monsters Inc. could have had something, again, with how popular that one is.
Maybe, but I think it was fine that they were on the float. Like at least that they were on the float. I don't know if they had a full float for that.
Yeah, they at least added them, but something that I think would have got somebody screaming like an NSYNC girl.
I don't think anyone would scream for Monsters Inc. float, but okay.
I was going to say, like, the whole premise of Monsters Inc. is collecting screams. You have just like a giant scream bottle going down the street, and then like it opens up at the top and you hear, ah, like, yeah.
That would have been funny.
Right? Yeah. No, yeah, I can't think of any other Pixar ones.
I'm still bummed Edna Mode wasn't around because she would have been cool.
They had the Inside Out float too. Yeah, that was a big one.
Oh, yeah, that one was really cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, because they didn't incorporate, like, elemental, which is I guess is fine.
Not as big.
And also, like, I know they had some characters on there, but they didn't have any characters walking in between. Like, they had the dancers in between a lot of them, but, like, because that's a way that you coulda had, like, the rest of the Incredibles cast.
Yeah, yeah.
Or even more Toy Story character, like, I think you coulda gone heavier.
Yeah.
But again, it was a great parade, and there was a lot in the parade. It wasn't like, "Oh, this is a short, like, skimpy parade," like most of the DCA parades are, and it's again, it's probably a logistical thing of how long they're gonna make it because the spacing is just very different than a parade at Disneyland.
Yeah, definitely not short. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, there was a good section, I think, where we thought it ended because I was watching with family. We thought it ended, so we kind of like got up and started getting ready to leave, and then all of a sudden, like a float comes a little bit later. I'm pretty sure it was because there was a stall.
Don't you know that the rope ends the parade?
We were watching it from afar, so it was not like we were like right up with it.
People with the rope.
We were kind of like, because this is like right when it first came out, so we were behind like the main crowd and just kind of watching it from, I think it was like the Garden Grill area, so not really where you like could see even just like at people height. Because I remember, yeah, my family started walking away, and then we kept hearing the music going. Or like, I'm like, I don't think it's over. Like, go back and continue to watch it. The one gripe of it's, I don't know if I'd really call it. I don't know if I call it a gripe, but
Well, it wouldn't be an episode if you didn't have a gripe.
right. But the food option that is available for Pixar Fest, mainly at the carts, that I was excited about was the carnitas pretzels. Carnitas pretzels. There we go.
Right.
Looks good in theory. Like, so pretzel bites topped with carnitas, cheese, and all sorts of other stuff. I think it had some jalapenos. Thinking like, oh, these are gonna be really good. And that was like the one food. I don't even think we finished it. It was just, yeah, because they're kept warm. They're attempted to keep warm by like a heat lamp. And I got it over by Incredibles, the credit coaster, thinking like, oh, it's gonna be really good. Sat down there, and it was just kind of a letdown. It was just tasted like just like bland pretzels, like pretzel bites, just nacho cheese, and then whatever leftover carnitas they had. It did not have much theme and like real, I'll call it personality, like the other foods that Pixar Fest had. Like, looks good as far as like, oh, like, especially if you had a lot of drinks, that kind of food you think would fill you up, help you out. Was not that very happily impressed with that. So if there's one food I would say don't waste your time on, the Pixar Fest carnitas pretzel bites, because I even remember I steered you away from that altogether.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, "Ooh, pretzels with things on them."
You would think looks good. Oh, was this what you were talking about at the Red Rose Tavern? Was it the Brave inspired cranberry raspberry mix? No, that wasn't what you were talking about.
Rose petal lemonade.
Okay, that wasn't it. So, because I'm looking through, like, they have, I mean, it's not just stuff at DCA, they have stuff at Disneyland. So, Red Rose Tavern, Fergus Fizz? Fergus Fizz inspired by Brave.
Oh, so that's how, because it's in Fantasyland. I'm like, why would they Pixar theme something at Red Rose Tavern? And
Yeah.
you're right, they do have some. I noticed they had some Brave themed things and completely forgot Brave Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
Still weird to me.
There's our Pixar princess representation, is at the Red Rose Tavern.
There she is.
Perfect spot for it. Cranberry raspberry mix and a Sprite with a butterscotch topper and granola crumble.
A drink.
Mm-hmm.
There's granola crumble on top of it.
Yeah. So it looks like it's the red drink, the cranberry mix on the bottom with Sprite.
Yeah.
And then looks like a layer of foam, I almost want to call it. And then the granola's on top. It seems like an odd combo.
Well, if anyone has tried this, please add us and tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the picture. However, based on Ryan's description, does not sound like anything I would ever try. Because I just don't understand how you could put a crumble on top of like a beverage that's not like a slushy coffee or something. Like I don't.
That has Sprite and cranberry too. Yeah, like it's not like it doesn't look like a Starbucks drink. Like the Starbucks refreshers
No, it's a juice. It's a juice drink.
with Sprite too. So it's like you get the carbonation from Sprite. I don't know.
Ew.
Right? Yeah. Let us know if that one's good, and I may be tempted to at least give it a try.
Sometimes I'm like, who comes up with this stuff?
Honestly, but I'm looking at something right now.
Like it's a crumble, like graham crackery,
Yeah, like just granola.
not like Pop Rocks,
No,
because that I can get behind.
it's just granola. It's all it looks like. There's one thing that looks delicious that I'm looking at that I didn't try it, but now I'm definitely gonna go try it. Did we see this moment with at Rancho del Zocalo? Where is it? No, it's not there. Oh, this was the thing I saw when we went to the refreshment corner.
What was it?
But you got the what they call the fly chip,
Firefly chips.
firefly chips, and yeah, I'm gonna try that next.
Which, let me add, the Firefly chips were a seasonal snack during Halloween time that they end up keeping year round. So thank you, Disney, because that's one of my favorite snacks. But anyhow, I digress. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
This is what I saw that I wanted to try, but after eating some of the Pixar Fest food, wasn't hungry enough for the barbecue potato dog inspired by Toy Story. This is the baked potato with, I don't want to call it a hot dog. It looks like a sauce. Yeah, so it is a smoked sausage. I don't know why they call it a dog. Smoked sausage, barbecue pulled pork, coleslaw, fried onions, green onions, and baked potato because I love baked potatoes. Looks delicious. Looks like filling too. The picture looks good.
I'll say that the Disneyland park did a good job like adding some Pixar foods,
Yeah.
like with refreshment corner. Also, Jolly Holiday has a Silencio Bruno Italian sandwich.
Oh.
Like, you know me, I would rather have a snack than food at Disneyland, but I kind of was like, I kind of want to have this. Like, it looked really good.
Yeah, I remember that one, the Silencio Bruno. But that was, remember, later at night, and we're like, don't know how much you want to fill up. Because that I gotta find. Let me find that one. That one I remember that looked really good. Not snacking size though. That was a full on like sandwich.
Oh, yeah, that's like a meal.
Yeah, Jolly Holiday. Anything else we really want to cover?
So yeah, I was impressed that they had the different food options all over the parks.
Yeah, that they didn't just limit it to California Adventure. Like it's both parks. Because when I first thought Pixar Fest, I was under this impression it was just going to be like at California Adventure, but not like throughout the entirety of it. Because as mentioned before, I had never experienced Pixar Fest as a Magic Key holder, so that was nice to see. And again, it's been refreshing to see like a festival they done that it really looks like they took the time to make it really good.
Yeah, and even though and I know they've had Pixar Fest in the past, but I don't think it was ever like this scale.
Yeah, way to like basically re-bring it back out with a bang.
Does Disney World do any semblance of Pixar Fest?
Not that I've seen.
Or is it just Disneyland?
I think it was just Disneyland because even following the stuff out there too, I haven't seen anything Pixar Fest. I don't even know, like, I mean, that would be quite a production to pull that off between 4 parks. If you had to just limit it to one park, I don't even know where you would put it unless it was just Hollywood Studios, but because they do have like the Toy Story area there. But like, unlike California Adventure and Disneyland, there's not like a real big dedication to Pixar at Disney World.
Yeah.
Where basically California Adventure is a lot of like they're throwing their Pixar and their other stuff in there. And Hollywood Studios doesn't get enough of a pull compared to the other parks. And I don't think they would want that either. They don't want, I guess you could do it at Epcot because that's where they do all the food and wine festival type stuff out there.
It just doesn't make sense there. I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think Pixar Fest makes sense at Disney World.
Yeah. I don't think you would be making a trip to Disney World specifically to go see Pixar Fest. I feel like pass holders or Magic Key holders in Disneyland California Adventure would make like an extra trip, as it worded in my survey that we filled out as a Magic Key holder. I would add trips to go experience some of the Pixar stuff fest there, where I wouldn't go out of my way to Disney World specifically because it says, oh, I'm going to see Pixar Fest. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, the big draw of Disneyland and California Adventure is it's 75% pass holders, 25% single day use or single use tickets. So that's why it makes more sense. And like we mentioned, it has more Pixar themed things there, where I don't know where anywhere it would even make sense for Disney World. So like that they keep it here, and maybe even so, hopefully like that even draws some of the Disney World crowd to Disneyland. Like, oh, I can't experience that here. And the fact it's not just a couple weeks long too, like the whole the whole summer and then some of the spring too. It's been nice. Like you don't feel rushed to go in there and get it, especially during this time of year. They're holding it that like all the grad nights and all the other things. Although I do feel bad for well, what I've been referring to as the peasant passers that are all now blacked out basically for the rest of the summer and can't, like, if you didn't experience it now and if they release anything else, you're kind of SOL, which stinks, but nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it kinda sucks if you're a local who has that pass and you can't go in.
Maybe that's what they were betting on too. Is like either it's, I don't want to say like not a negotiation, but like, oh, look at what you're missing out from having this pass, and like look at all the other stuff we're starting to release with it. Not that I think they're actually doing that, but that would be a weird, that would be a tactic for sure. Like because they did stop the sale of their passes a couple weeks back.
Yeah, but I mean, California residents don't get blacked out till June, right?
Yeah, they, so I think it was starting last week.
Yeah, so, like, they had time to experience
Yeah,
they had time to at least experience the first half of Pixar Fest.
right. And that's where I'm hoping, well, part of me is hoping that they do more. Like as we've talked, like they keep releasing more, they're adding more to Pixar Fest, and that's where I'm saying like if they're SOL, they got to experience at least the first half, so they got to experience some of it. And if they do more, then that's SOL for them.
Do you think they'd release more with a month left to go?
I don't really think so unless it's kind of like the popcorn buckets, the merchandising stuff. I don't think they do anything more with. I don't even think they're going to do any more with that because what I've seen now is like they brought back the Pizza Planet trucks,
Yes.
Doug, and some of the things that they sold out of. So I don't think they're releasing anything more.
Well, they had 3 different popcorn buckets. I don't think they're gonna come out with a new popcorn bucket, but there may or may not be, like, extra or different merch that they add, but they're doing that but I mean, because it's Pixar Fest related, there might be some, like, new Pixar related merch, but they're always doing that anyway where they're adding things, like I think every month there's some new type of merch they're coming out with, for sure every season.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, the merch would be related to maybe not even necessarily Pixar Fest, but the merch would be related to Inside Out 2, and more as a promotion for that than it would be for Pixar Fest itself.
Right.
Because as I was mentioned earlier in the episode, that movie seems to be doing really good in the box office, and just it looks like an overall great movie, which is refreshing to see too. Because a couple of these last movies they come out with have not done so well.
A lot of people that I know that went and saw it, they're like, "Have you seen it yet?" And I'm like, "No," and they're like, "It's really good."
Yeah,
So, I was just texting the friends, I'm like, "Hey, does anyone wanna go see this?" I'm not I don't really go see many things in movie theaters
same.
unless they're, like, action, like, blockbuster type of movies that need to be seen in the movie theater because it's just so expensive and everything goes out on streaming 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it's the same way. I'm not really big on going to go see movies in theater, but like the fact that this one is so good,
So, I'm gonna go.
yeah, go check it out. Like worth it. Thank God that they didn't just do like a direct release to Disney Plus. I think I even heard that they're stopping that because they're failing on so many levels. Yeah,
They lose so much money that way.
they're not adding subscribers to get people to watch movies, and if they are, the old tactic of let me do the free trial and subscribe and then delete it or remove it, I guess. But yeah, that would be the only suspicion I have of any different merchandising, any different stuff coming out would be more so to hit that flow of like we just released Inside Out 2. We're gonna hit, we're gonna run with this, especially with how good it's doing. So yeah, month and I can't believe there's really still only a month and a half left. Like I still feel like it just came out, even though it's been since April, right? Yeah. April 26th through October. No, sorry, that's different thing I'm looking at. But either way, April through August.
No, April 26th. That's when yeah, April 26th to August 2nd. Those are the Pixar Fest dates.
The thing I was reading said October 31st. So that's where I was like, oh no, that's not what I'm looking at.
You're already looking at the Halloween?
No, at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, they have a cocoa inspired food dish. And that was what I was highlighted over. And it says available through October 31st. So,
Oh,
because I think that's also when they do the, was it Festival de Familia?
yeah.
So I think they're just keeping that going with that.
During the Halloween season, they do that at the Paradise Garden Park.
Birria with mozzarella cheese. What? What? Okay. I'm getting that next time.
There's more food that we need to know about?
Birria pizza inspired by cocoa. Birria with mozzarella cheese, onion, cilantro, and tomatillo sauce, radishes, limes, and consomme. Available by the slicer a whole pie. What?
Ryan just found his new snack.
Yes.
Okay, meal, because that's not a snack.
Wait, was this the thing I saw? Do you remember the guy at the parade that had that like
When we saw someone eating something at the parade, yeah, maybe.
that couldn't have been in that? Because no, I saw the photo of that. That looked like this other thing. Hang on. Ah, yeah, that looked like at Paradise Garden Grill. Carnitas, yeah, they had that was the that was at Paradise Garden Grill
Yeah.
because I see the photo of that. So that's diff. Actually, that all looks really good too.
Their food is underrated.
I wasn't gonna go this weekend, but now I'm getting like really hungry, and I'm thinking about checking in my app and seeing if there's available for this weekend.
Did you ever think that you would be the person that decides to go to Disneyland to eat food?
No, no,
You're welcome.
I was all of like when I got the pass, like, oh, look at how many times I can go on rides and all the other things, and lately, like, it's all been about the food.
You can't blame me if you gain any weight, though. So just putting that out there.
No, no. The wet burrito. There's so like even the stuff not at the carts. A lot of the focus obviously goes to the carts because that's like direct in your face.
Yeah, they're specifically built, but a lot of the other food areas in the parks do have some kind of Pixar themed
Yeah.
food related item. Not all of them, but some of them do take from that.
Yeah. When I first started like going to these food festivals and all that, I thought that was all that was there because I really ignored a lot of the like Paradise Garden, the Garden Grill, and all that. But now seeing too, and I think we've mentioned before with Magic Key Terrace and kind of how underwhelming some of their food is up there. Also, I'm seeing has a Pixar themed dish.
What?
Luca at the Magic Key Terrace, another Luca inspired. I think if it's going to be pasta, they're going to call it Luca inspired. Don't know how I feel about that.
I'm kind of mad we didn't go and didn't like find this out sooner. Well, hang on. Before I say that, tell me what it is.
So it's Luca seafood pasta. So it's grilled prawns, clams, Spanish chorizo, spicy white wine, tomato sauce, pappardelle, pasta, mustard frills, and charred lemon half.
Oh, no, I'm good. I don't like seafood. That's why.
I like seafood pasta when I'm in the mood for it, but I think that alone that we'd even think of checking that, I think speaks to the Magic Key Terrace itself. Because I'm going to tell you, like, this actually looks like a smaller portion size than what you get at some of the carts.
I doubt that.
Maybe it's just the photography and all that, but it really doesn't look like a lot. But it's probably like $35. That's like my experience of Magic Key Terrace. There's maybe one or two items that have really like been like, oh, those are really good, but nothing that's like makes me want to go sit up there. Like the fact that we didn't even go check that.
Yeah, because we're like, we don't want to go.
Yeah.
So when they first opened Magic Key Terrace, they used to have a gin flight.
Yep.
So it was like 3 different types of gin drinks, and they used to have flight, and I would 100% go for that. They took that off, and then I have no like, I get one of the drinks on there, but I think it's like the pirate themed one. I don't remember what it is.
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, not my favorite. My only motivation for going up there is to just kinda, like, disconnect from everything in the park and just, like, go away.
Yep.
That would be my only motivation for going up there. Otherwise, why would I go there? The food is eh, but also like you said, it's also really expensive comparative to the serving size that you're getting.
Yeah.
It's nothing, like, spectacular. You're almost better off getting something, like, in the park or, like, going to, like, Carthay Circle and eating al fresco or Lamplight Lounge because their food options are way better.
Ooh. So,
At Carthay Circle and Lamplight?
oh, Carthay Circle, yes. The lamplight, I was a little underwhelmed.
It depends what you get.
Yeah, I think it was the lobster nachos. I mean, they had like the 3 different nachos, and they're good portion size.
Yeah, they're great portion size.
That was my one like real food experience there.
They have these tuna tostadas that I really wanted to try, and I never got around to trying. I think they're a seasonal item too.
Yeah, I think they are. I don't remember seeing them because I went. It was like only a couple weeks ago. I went. I feel like a fix for Magic Key Terrace to like kind of break because people go up there.
Almost every time I go, I can't get on the wait list, on the walk-up list.
Yeah, and it is a nice break. Like it is a nice. area, but like I'm not going up there specifically because like I want to go eat up there. If I'm going up there, it's one, I can get in, two, like just a nice way to like sit away from the crowds and be away from it for a little bit with a nice like decent view depending on where they seat you. Like you don't have to get the drinks that are on the menu.
No, I know that.
I know you know that. I don't know if they know that. Where it's not like like a typical Disney restaurant. You have to order what's on the menu. You can get like if you want like a gin and tonic, they can make a gin and tonic.
I can go get a gin and tonic up there and pay $18 for a gin and tonic.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. If anything, I'd whatever at Carthay Circle.
I'd rather go to Carthay Circle.
Yeah, for like their amazing old fashioned.
They have a really good herbal gin and tonic that I love. There's like anise in it.
What could help it a little bit is if they, mind you, again, they're not hurting for reservations. They have plenty of folks that go up there. But like if they gave the option to do like, I don't call it a flight or like tastings, but being able to get some of these food options you have at the different carts and being able to get up at Magic Key Terrace away from the crowds would definitely get me up there. Like I'm not going on my way for that. Then again, I would still just go to the cart because those lines weren't that bad.
Yeah, I would say I don't want to be like expand your menu. You know how I feel about expanding menus, but still like
Yeah,
have meal options because most of the things are like meal options. Like they're not snack side. There's not much other than like
the charcuterie board.
I think if you do like a cheese board, which is like $28,
Yeah,
having smaller portions or like smaller snack size types of things, because also you'll have quicker turnover too. You can serve more people, so you'll make more money doing that.
the theme drinks up there. Like if they added in some of these,
They need to revamp their themed drinks up there because none of them sound good.
they're not.
They're not cool drinks. They're not good tasting drink. They're like they need a revamp of their Magic Key drink.
I only get the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because it's Incredicoaster themed, but it's not great. But it's just because I went up there. I got to get something.
What's in that one?
It's been a year since I've even tasted it, but I'm pretty sure it's more blue Caraco.
Ugh.
They seem to love that. I think that was the only one that was tequila based too, which is why I get it because I'm not huge. I'm not huge on gin. The rum one I think is the Pirates one. That yeah, they had one up there that had the oh my god, what is it? It had like the way that the waitress described it to me.
Oh, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is spiced rum, blue Caraco, coconut, pineapple, cream, and ugh.
Yeah, the one that has the mezcal. So the waitress, the way she described it to me was like, "Have you had an ex-girlfriend that smoked? It's like kissing her in a drink."
Ew, why would that be appealing for a drink?
Yeah, I tried it just to like, okay, like I got to see what she said because I the one that has the so, but she's like, this mezcal that we have is like very overpowering, and it was exactly that. Like, I won't even say it was like cigarettes. Like if they smoked like heavy cigars, it was like drinking Worcestershire right out of the bottle. I hope they got rid of it. I think they did because I don't think I ever saw it again after that.
There's something like that on the
Yeah, I think they got rid of that. That one was not popular. Like to the fact that even she warned me about it, and thankfully it was one of the few times I've actually ever done a cast compliment because like they were up there. She was actually like coming over, like having conversation with her tables, like not just the typical like here serve you sit down like in a rush, like actually taking the time to talk with you, like and not just me, like the other tables as well. It was like one of my few experiences up there at Magic Key Terrace. So only one of the few times I've done a cast compliment. I don't really do it too often these days because if I remember right, like it's I don't think you can even like specify the name. It was like you specified like where they worked and like what they did, but I don't think you could actually select like by name. Not that you could select by name, but like you have to like type it in the description, like who it was and so on and so forth. I could only they're not gonna have like a drop down list of like every employee. That'd be weird.
Could you imagine?
You're right. There's some that like if you want to like talk about, I think they need to go like the reverse way too. Like if you had like a bad experience with some of like a cast member, there should be like a cast compliment and a cast complaint. Because if you're trying to keep the magic alive here, maybe can go dive more a little bit later. But like if you want to keep the magic alive going, like you have some that like really step it above and beyond truly to what they want their cast members to be.
Yeah. Then there's people that are like, why do you work here?
Yeah. Like the guy with the mop right before the parade with the spilled drink that came out of nowhere.
Dude, all of those people. So during the parade, everyone, someone spilled something, okay? And it was like all sticky and we're waiting for the parade and like one of the cast members was walking by and noticed like, "Oh my gosh, there's a mess here. The parade's about to start. We got to clean this up." And some guy and out of nowhere, we're like, "Where did this guy with the mop come from?"
Yeah,
Wait, what?
right.
It comes out of nowhere and just, like, cleans it up and, like, very thoroughly, and then, like, someone else walks by and they're like, "Oh my gosh, something's here," and they, like, put their foot to make sure it's not sticky, and then another person comes and is like, "What's this?" It's like every single and it was, like, pretty dry too, it wasn't, like, super wet, but they're like, "Oh, I think something's here." It was very incredible, the attention to detail, like, because I think there were 4 different people who checked that spot.
Yep. And then we got up because we couldn't see it. I remember from our angle, it looked like it was just
Oh, no, no, there was a spot that they missed that I don't think they saw because it was, like, more under where the stroller was, so those people had moved and we stepped there, but it wasn't, like, in the walkway, it was, like, under their stroller.
yeah. How many of them like all walked by and they saw it and they're like, "What's that? What's that?" And then getting up and stepping in it and then squeaking for a little bit because we were sticking to the floor or sticking to the pavement. To keeping the park clean immediately.
Like, I didn't know they had mop, they came out with mop.
What like where did he come from though?
Yeah, where'd the mop come from?
The whole sidewalk area was already lined up for everybody to go watch the Better Together parade. So it's not like he could like sneak in through the crowd somewhere, but like it was as if like poof, here he is.
I noticed this the last time I went. Some of the trash cans in between depending where it is, in between the trash can and the recycling is the broom and the dustpan. Just the like, I've seen a broom and a dustpan in between trash cans before.
Yeah.
Like, I just noticed this the last time I went. I was like, "Oh." And only in certain areas where it's probably, like, super, like, against a wall or something, like, where it doesn't like, it blends in where you're not gonna notice it. So, maybe they also have certain areas where there's also a mop.
Just a mop.
Or maybe some cast members coming out of, like, one of the restaurants with a mop, who knows? But it was like it really was like, where did she come from with a mop? And that's probably why I never see powdered sugar because there's probably someone with a mop.
It's like the guy's job was specifically just to look for like when he's needed with the mop and then swoops in, mops up real quick, and then right back to his little perch.
Which is a crazy Disney magic, by the way, is how much the custodial team blends in with the park and you all like, unless, like, you're literally sitting down talking to them, staring at them. Like, I was sitting next to a trash can and I saw, like, one of the custodians and I had a nice conversation with him. He was very great. He's like, "You enjoy the rest of your time." And he was changing out the trash bags and he's like and he's rolling a, like, trash bin.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, you're experiencing the park and you're not it's not clashing. It doesn't take away like, it's so incredible to me that there's always constantly people around the park cleaning, like, the custodial team is always around the park, whether it's cleaning up the popcorn or changing the trash bags, and it doesn't interfere in anything.
Yeah.
Like, where anywhere else you go, it's very obvious and apparent. It's crazy Disney magic. I don't know if there's it's because there's so much going on in the park, if they're very, like, methodical and strategic about how they are, is it I mean, it's probably a combination of all of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, they're trained to, like, walk in a certain way and, like, wait and not be in people's way. So it's just I don't know, just thought it was really cool, and, mops just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's places where it's like, how the heck someone throws up, right? How the heck did they clean that up so fast? Like and there are places because I was sitting next to the castle the other day, and I was like, "Someone definitely threw up there." I can still smell it, but it didn't look like anyone it was completely spotless clean. It's I don't know, I just think it's another one of those, like, crazy Disney magic things, unrelated to Pixar Fest, but hey, there you go.
Yeah. And they do it without the underground tunnel system like they do at Disney World. Like they pull that off. They pull that same standard off without having the magical tubes that take the trash across underground, that the custodial staff, like the people can walk underground. Like they do this all above ground without the extra help that Disney World gets. And like I said, it blends in like you don't even realize they're there. The trash bins, like you can never say that you go by a trash bin and it's full
Yeah.
with how many people are eating and throwing stuff in there. It's so well done.
I think that's what creates the superiority of Disney like, there are so many things, we've talked about Disney magic, and we'll probably keep alluding to different things, but just, like, the more you think about those things, you're more like, "Wow," like,
How, right?
I don't think people really understand how phenomenal that is because if you really think about anywhere else you go, it's rare you're ever gonna come into a cleanliness issue at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Other than, like, if you're going into the women's bathroom, like, you're probably gonna smell poopy diapers. So that maybe they should invest in, like, diaper genies. I'm being honest. It's like it's clearly like 50 diapers were in this trash. Like, in certain bathrooms, not all of them, but certain ones, mainly the ones in Fantasyland.
Like a thing you don't really think about, like especially in a hot climate with trash comes bugs, and it's not like you see swarm of flies and bugs or anything crittery swarming.
The only thing is like bees.
Yeah.
And what's so remarkable is how the bees are only where the flowers are. Like you don't see a bee anywhere else that's not on the flowers at Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So as you're throwing out all your Pixar Fest containers and foods you may or may not like, I'd hope you not throw out the food you like.
I hope you don't throw food anyway, because that's just that.
If you're throwing out your pretzel bite, like you're walking around with all this food and you're not smelling trash cans.
And there's so much food.
Yeah. And getting all the food to the stands and everything too. Because it's not like they store copious amounts of.
That's some kind of voodoo. Like there's some kind of voodoo magic at the Disney, because the more we're talking about it, think about it, I'm like, literally, actually, what is going on here?
Right.
Actually magic.
Yeah. It just pops up.
I mean, I know how they do it because I spend time just sitting on a park bench, so I do notice things. But I think that's also part of it is like you're in the parks and you're doing stuff, and they're very good about not interfering, like the cast members, like when they're delivering food, because they have carts that are like covered. So that's why you don't know like when they're delivering food to different places and stuff like that. Yeah, super, super awesome. Disney's great. Pixar Fest is great.
Yeah, as you mentioned too, where you've seen the dustpans and the brooms like hidden in like by the garbages. So some of the stanchions that have like the maps actually hold like the extra utensils. Does they store utensils and stuff in there? Because I saw a cast member go in there, open the door, and what you think is just like a standalone map, they've turned into like additional storage for adding like the forks, knives, all the other things.
So smart.
And yeah, like having worked in culinary too, and seeing that like you're cooking all of this food somewhere, because they do minor preparation I think in those carts, but bringing it all out in like hordes of people, that's magic. That's magic without noticing.
Crazy.
Yep, indeed.
Food's great. Disney Magic's awesome. Pixar Fest far surpassed anything I thought it was going to be. I don't know if we want to have any closing comments. Obviously, for me, that the last experience I had at Disney Pixar Fest is the last Pixar Fest experience I'm going to have. Ryan, I know you're going to have some more, so we might add some more stuff based on if there's any new additions. But is there anything else that really stuck out to you regarding Pixar Fest? Again, the entertainment was great, the food was great, super creative spin, way bigger, like, going out than I thought they were gonna do.
I mean, we hit, I think, just about we talked about the food. We talked about previously fireworks shows, like the theming and everything did right. I don't think we talked about the fireworks show. Yeah. Because no spoilers still. Like, still don't want to, you were a month and a half in, and if you haven't seen it, there's no way I'm ruining that.
It's great, go see it. That's all we're gonna say.
Yeah. It's definitely one you gotta, and get like a really good spot too.
Middle of Main Street. Middle of Main Street.
Yep.
Specifically for this one.
Yeah. I really think we've hit everything, and as much as I hope there is more to cover, I mean, they did so much as is already. So like another month and a half of Pixar Fest, like now it's just going to go like for me, it's going to go to keep re-enjoying it. And I really hope everybody gets an opportunity to experience, like, because they really, out of every other festival thing I think that they've put on in my time as a Magic Key holder, this has been by far my favorite. If they do come out with more, I will gladly cover it and hopefully provide you the information and the details you want to hear, and a possible food shipment care package for our friend here who cannot experience Pixar Fest anymore.
I just want the macaroon.
Still care, just a giant.
I'm still mad I missed Season of the Force macaroon, because that sounded good. It was like a caramel
Is that no, that, so that must have ended,
that ended in like May,
because they still have the popcorn buckets coming out for that.
because they probably didn't sell them, because they were probably overshadowed with all the Pixar stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I'm surprised because they were some cool popcorn buckets too.
Last thing I'll say too, I think they launched everything at once when it comes to the popcorn buckets. I don't think they should have launched all 3 at one time.
Yeah.
I think they should have started with the Pizza Planet. They could have started with Pizza Planet and the Doug ones, okay? Because then whatever they run out, because they're Magic Key holder buckets anyway.
Yeah. Exclusive.
And then later on come out with the Cocoa ones like midway. Oh, look, guys, there's another popcorn bucket. Even though like people who are gonna buy them bought them both anyway.
Bought all 3.
Yes, I know. Did you also get the Star Wars one too?
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going with it.
Oh, no, well, the Pixar popcorn buckets overshadowed the Star Wars one in my opinion, 'cause I'm surprised they still have them and they didn't sell out so fast.
Yeah, they released a couple of them too. It wasn't like it was just 1 or 2.
Oh,
They had the Millennium Falcon one, which I got way, I think, even before Season of the Force started. They had the Stormtrooper helmet one, which that one was really cool. And then they had the AT-AT.
that's cool.
Yeah, the AT-AT was the other one I got. But like they were being released with Pixar Fest. Like they had Millennium Falcon first, then they did Stormtrooper helmet, and then they did the AT-AT, which that one is still sitting on the shelves. But like those ones, like they were gone by noon every day when those first released them. So I'm surprised they still have more. But maybe they like it was weird.
Maybe some people were like, my limit is 3, not 4 popcorn buckets.
Yeah, but like we talked in the last Pixar Fest episode where they had Season of the Force and Pixar Fest like basically starting around the same time. Where I mean, they pulled it both off, but maybe they could have done Season of the Force a little bit more justice if they wanted it to,
Yeah.
and then had Pixar Fest going on a little bit longer because it was mentioned it's ending August 4th, and there's nothing really in between.
Yeah, there is.
The Halloween stuff starts right after.
Yeah, they're setting up Halloween right after. Halloween starts in August.
Okay,
I don't know the exact dates, but it starts in August because 'cause they're starting Oogie Boogie in August.
dang, that seems so early. I know it's not for Disney standards, but
I almost wanna say Halloween starts on August 2nd, but
and it wouldn't shock me. And maybe that's why they felt like they couldn't push Pixar Fest later after because they were basically like,
oh, no, it's August 23rd to October 34th.
you have at least a couple week break, which is probably for their logistical needs and all that. So understood.
Yeah, because they have to take down all the banners and they have to put up all the Halloween ones.
Yeah, it's not Disney World style where they basically do it in waves, but like overnight.
I'm on the Disneyland Resort website, okay, and I'm looking at Halloween time at Disneyland Resort, and I will say one of the things on there is Haunted Mansion Holiday Experience, Haunted Halls with Festive Torches. That is telling me that Haunted Mansion will be open by the Halloween season.
Place your bets.
I can't see it not being open. There's no way they weren't strategically like, whatever we're doing to Haunted Mansion, we have to make sure it's ready for the holiday overlay. That's a big, big thing.
Are you still on the app?
Not on the app. I was on the website.
Can you go to the app?
Of course, I can go to the app. Probably gonna be like the top was Siri suggested it.
Go to the app and go to the map and look at Haunted Mansion
Why?
because there was something.
Is there something cool on there?
Well, I want to see if what I saw was true since I can't look it up on my map and look at the layout of the queue because supposedly they updated it.
I mean, it looks very different.
Yeah, the pet cemetery move and like whatnot. That's what I saw on the earlier today.
Well, first of all, it's actually kind of confusing on how this goes because you like go in, but that's where the normal door is unless you're entering it from a different. It looks different but the same. I don't know what it looked like before though.
It really didn't look entirely changed. You still, like you said, you looks like you have that like garden walkthrough thing, the pet cemetery side, and then the what I'll call like the jigsaw queue that.
It's not there on the map.
Yeah, the old one. Supposedly they updated the map with like how the queue kind of looked.
Oh, but you know what? It does kind of look like the map we saw on the.
The walls printed there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that is a true tell sign that they're closer and closer to having it ready for Halloween.
Listen, I'm very confident. I'm very confident it will be open by Halloween.
The other thing I saw too is like the projected opening for Tiana's Bayou was
In January?
I want to say like November timeframe.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, then they'll definitely be done with Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, and maybe that's why, like, I think I mentioned the other day, I think they've completely now closed off. Yeah, they've completely closed off that walkway. So if you're going to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area, you cannot anymore enter from
Critter.
Rise of the Resistance side. Yeah, Critter Country. So they've completely blocked that off from what my understanding is. And maybe that's a true tell. Like they're closer and closer. Like now they got to do some more major stuff. And then, like honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they just open it all up at once together, having Critter Country stuff back open, having all that like big reveal, big release, boom. Because if I remember right too, like that's usually when they take down like Matterhorn and Space Mountain for their normal renovation time. Because they won't take down those rides without having other ticket attractions able to take away some of the crowd density.
Right. Well, and I mean, most of those rides won't be down till January anyway.
Yeah, they wait for the after the Christmas and slow season.
Yep, because it's super busy.
I can never keep up. I feel like Matterhorn always goes down. It breaks as much as it breaks our backs.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yep. On that note.
Thanks for joining us on another magical episode of Magic Key Chats. If you have any topic suggestions, questions, want to join in on the conversation, make sure to send us a DM on our Instagram at Magic Key Chats or send us an email at magickeychats@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another fresh episode. And until next time, may all your dreams come true.